in with one hand.
What a magician that Tracy Corley. Bogus had gotten behind him, but Bruce, great athletes can make great plays. Tracy going as high as he can, one-hands it, and picks off the quarterback pillow. Lebanon keeps Columbia out of the end zone again.
Ball on the 9-yard line. We run a trap up the middle. There comes C. Crosses the 15, got to the 19, and got about 10 on a trap play. Is he just run a trap straight up the middle, and I think we got close to 10. We'll say 9 and call it 2nd and a half a yard.
Actually, with the block that sprung him, the double-team block by Rose and Hicks on the nose man, and Ashley comes through and traps. Big gaping hole in the middle of that Columbia defense, and Marlowe had a good run.
Traps that really hurt Columbia tonight. Fullback traps and slotback traps. We're 2nd and a yard. We're leading 24-0, and we run Marlowe, and he got the first down as he carries it to about the 22 or 23-yard line. First down, and the clock is running with 2:11 to play in this football game. Lebanon going to come away with their 7th win of the season.
Bruce, once again, we'll shift our attention to next week, going to Cookeville up at Tennessee Tech on the turf. It's always tough to go up there and play Tech in the season closer, the regular season ender, but there's going to be a lot on the line next week.
1st and 10, the ball on the 22, and we run Reggie Corder, and he cuts outside. He's got a little daylight to the 25, and they pull him down and throw him out of bounds. I don't think we intended to run out of bounds and stop the clock, but we did. Up on the 26-yard line, Reggie Corder picked up about 4, and it's 2nd and 6. 1:39 in this football game, and like you said, next week to Cookeville, and that's for all the marbles for 2nd place. If you lose there, your season's over.
The winner of that football game will advance as the runner-up in District 7 AAA, and will travel to Shelbyville to play in the first round of the playoffs.
Lebanon 2nd down and 6, trap play, and this time they stopped Marlowe C. as Columbia was blitzing a couple of linebackers and then knocked us down on the 27. We got a yard, and we're 3rd and 5. Alan Bentley checks in with the play as the clock now says 1:22, and Columbia wants to stop it. Columbia's taking a timeout. We will too. 30-second break. Lebanon leads 24-0.
22 to play, 3rd down, and about 6 yards to go for the first. Lebanon looking to improve to 7-2 on the season. Columbia, with the loss, will drop to 5-4.
Slot left. We need 6 for a first down, or 5.5. Triplett takes it and runs Corder straight up the middle. He crossed the 30. He got to the 31. They say his knee touched on the 30. And it'll be short of the first down by 2 yards. We had to get to the 32, and the knee went down on the 30-yard line, and Columbia's taking another timeout. We'll keep it here, I guess, this time. Lebanon will have to punt. Tommy, we need 2 yards. It's 1:07 to play.
Well, we're going to kick it away, and let Skullroot kick with a wind at his back. Coach Medley out during this timeout going over some last-minute details with that punt team, and probably one of the things he's saying is don't fake it, kick it, and let this defense go back out there and wind this shutout up for us.
And I believe, Terry, what do we got this year? About 4 shutouts and 3 games where they got a field goal?
That's exactly right, Bruce. With this one, if we succeed with this, will be our 4th shutout. 3 other games, we only gave up a lone field goal.
Snap is back. Here comes Columbia. The punt is away. A nice spiraling punt. Will hit down on the 30 and roll out of bounds on the 25 and maybe the 24. It did. Nice punt by Alex Skullroot with a wind behind his back. And Lebanon with 1 minute, 60 seconds to play in this football game. A 46-yard punt by Alex Skullroot.
Great kick as he got it up in the wind, and it was twisting and spiraling toward the sideline, and Pillow, the return man for Columbia, thought better than to pick it up and try a return. So with 1 minute, 60 seconds to play in this game, Columbia will take over, and Lebanon 60 seconds away from another shutout.
Pillow will bring his team to their line. Voted, I think, by the coaches as the best quarterback this week in the mid-state. Was that right? Yes, I think it was. And he's fumbled again. And he's fumbled again. He fumbled twice on this play, and Lebanon's scrambling to pick it up. We'll see who's got it. Pillow fumbled it twice. Lebanon's recovered it on the 15. He fumbled a snap. He picked it up and got hit and fumbled it again, and it rolled back to the 16, and we've recovered it. Tommy, who recovered it?
Corey Deffendahl, Bruce. Once again, the nose man fighting straight back at the quarterback. It came loose, and it looks to me like the snap is coming about a half a beat slow. Pillow is starting to pull out, and the center's not giving him the football. Of course, I guess that's 3 or 4 times that's happened tonight.
38 seconds to play in this football game. I think Lebanon may just kneel down on this thing. They do, and Triplett takes a knee and then runs backwards, and this football game may come to a halt. Tommy, on the voting, Pillow was voted, I think, the outstanding quarterback, but if he had my vote, I'd vote for Lassiter for Gallatin.
Well, that's where Coach Medley's vote went, was to Lauren Lassiter, the quarterback at Gallatin. They polled AAA head coaches in about 4 districts across the mid-state, and Pillow was the overall vote winner. I believe Lassiter from Gallatin was in 2nd place, and Davis, the quarterback at Riverdale, finished 3rd. Not a good night for Columbia or their star quarterback, Pillow. Lebanon takes the victory, 24-0. We'll be back with more after this 2-minute break. You're listening to Blue Devil Football on WFMQ Lebanon. A 4-0 win over Columbia tonight, and I want to take this opportunity and this chance while everybody's listening to say a special thanks to Donnie Denny, who's running the control board back at WFMQ broadcast headquarters. Donnie does a great job monitoring our broadcast and help keeping us on top of things, and when we sound good, a lot of that goes credit to Donnie Denny, who's running the show back at the studio, and we appreciate that, Donnie. 24-0, Lebanon the winner tonight over Columbia. And here with the wrap-up of the numbers, our man with the stats, Terry Stafford.
Thanks, Tommy. Lebanon wins the ball game tonight, their 4th shutout of the season, beating Columbia 24-0. Recapping the scoring, Lebanon got on the board with 1:23 left in the first quarter. Joe Gardner, a 46-yard touchdown run, capping an 8-play, 75-yard drive. Greg Triplett with the extra point, 7-0 Lebanon. Then with 19 seconds left in the first quarter, Alex Skolrud tackled the Columbia quarterback Pillow in the end zone for a safety, and Lebanon led 9-0. Then with 2:59 left in the first half, Zach Dirksen from 8 yards away capping a 4-play, 23-yard drive. Greg Triplett with the extra point, and Lebanon led at halftime 16-0. The only scoring in the second half, 4:49 left in the third quarter, Damon Stone from Greg Triplett, a 15-yard pass for a touchdown, 5-play, 26-yard drive. Marlowe C. carried it in for the 2-point conversion, and that was our final score, Lebanon beating Columbia 24-0. Individually in the game, first for Columbia, 32 rushes for Columbia, 157 yards. Lebanon 43 carries, 231 yards on the ground. Through the air, Columbia was 2 of 7 passing for 17 yards, 1 interception, no touchdowns. Lebanon was 7 of 13 through the air, 63 yards, 1 interception, 1 touchdown. Total yards in the game, Columbia 174, Lebanon 294. First downs, Columbia with 7, 1 passing, 6 on the ground. Lebanon with 12 first downs, 1 passing, 11 on the ground. Turnovers, Columbia turned the ball over 4 times, 3 fumbles, 1 interception, all of those in the second half. Lebanon turned the ball over 2 times in the second half, 1 interception, 1 fumble. Penalties, Columbia 2 for 15, Lebanon 5 for 40. Individually in the game, Pillow, the quarterback, 15 carries, only 38 yards. Williams, 6 carries for 3. Van Lipscomb, 1 carry, 2 yards. Nay Lipscomb, 7 carries, 18 yards. Sewell, 2 carries, 26 yards. That's 32 carries, 157 yards for Columbia. Pillow, the quarterback, 2 of 7, 17 yards, 17 net yards for Columbia through the air, 157 on the ground, 174 in the game. For Lebanon, individually, Triplett, 2 carries, 0 net yards. Zach Dirtson, 5 carries, 25 yards. Montoya Crutchfield, 19 carries, 65 yards. Marlowe C., 3 carries, 14 yards. Joe Gardner, a big night, 5 carries, 71 yards. Alan Bentley, 3 carries, 39 yards. Reggie Corder, 6 carries for 17. Lebanon with 43 carries on the ground, 231 yards. Through the air, Greg Triplett, 7 of 13, 63 yards through the air, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. That's 63 through the air, 231 on the ground, 294 total yards for Lebanon. Tommy, Lebanon shuts out Columbia 24-0. I guess we can look forward to a big game next week in Cookeville.
Another big one, this one on the road. The district runner-up spot on the line, and that one's for all the marbles. We'll be back with some closing comments after this 2-minute break. We'll tell you that score. Lebanon defeats Columbia by a score of 24-0. We'll be back in 2 minutes. Opportunities that the defense presents them with, and we got a few of those tonight. We shut down the Lions of Columbia 24-0, and looking at Columbia's numbers, that is the first time Columbia has been shut out this season. The first time that the Lions of Columbia have been held without a score, so that's quite an accomplishment tonight. Lebanon picks up the victory at home 24-0. Lebanon improves to 7-2 overall. Columbia drops to 5-4. The Blue Devils travel next week to Cookeville to take on the Cavaliers of Putnam County High School. That game for all the marbles. Mark Medley coach football team has never missed the playoffs. We do not want to break that streak. We want to keep it intact, and if we want to do that, we'll have to win next week on the turf.